Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today is a very exciting day for me. I've been wanting a new project for quite some time. Been looking at a few things. Some things that were a little bit too projecty, considering the amount of space and spare time I have. And then this thing popped up. And I just had to have it. Now, I'm not sure if it's a wise move. Not sure if it's a good car. But I got it anyway. So the guy's on his way over to my house now to drop it off, and then I'll drop him home later afterwards once I've got it. But yeah, you'll see it soon. I'll let you know one thing. It's a Toyota. Well, I've just been picked up on it. I just dropped the guy back home. It's officially now mine. Let me introduce you to my Toyota Dyna. So here is the new car hauler. She's only a wee one. I don't know if it would actually tow my Supra up a hill, but it should be all good for going to like Ruapuna and Timaru and shit, hopefully. She's just been a Woodford Glen car for a while, so it needs some legal work done. But I will hopefully get all that sorted, and hopefully it's not too bad. But it's matte black. It has a tyre rack. What could go wrong? So I'm pretty excited about this. I had zero intentions of buying this. I was actually looking at getting an old Crusader or something as a resto project. I don't know why, I just really felt the urge for a new vehicle. And then this popped up, and I was just like, you know what, I want it. So yeah, she definitely needs a tidy up. I don't know whether it was painted with a brush or not, but that paint's pretty rough. It's pretty filthy. The dude's never fucking cleaned it, man. Trippy old guy. Pretty funny. It's a good laugh. Interior's dusty as anything. The old Woodford Glen truck. It's a bit of a mess, so I'm going to tidy the interior and shit. The missus has already seen it and is like, this is disgusting. And she hasn't actually seen it up close yet, so she sees the actual, be like, what have you bought? Electric winch for, you know, when someone blows up their car, they can lift it on. The only thing is I'll have to figure out if those ramps are long enough to actually get a low car up on there. Yeah, a few things to figure out. First things first, try and get a warrant for it, see what it needs, and then try play around with loading cars onto it and see, hopefully it can load some low cars, or if not I'll make some longer ramps. So the interior, we got very dirty, very vertical seats. I must say this is rather uncomfortable. I don't know what I can do about that. It's like a tombstone. Oh, even old classic Toyota tool bag. Nice wee score. Yeah. Some pieces missing. I don't know. I'll give it a wash, give it a tune, give it a fucking clean, put some fucking sounds in it. Maybe some tidier seats or something like that. And yeah. So it's a 2 litre 4-cylinder petrol. So not exactly a lot of grunt. But fuck it, I'm happy. Oh! Let's go. It is just like driving a bus with this gigantic wheel and this vertical seat. It is definitely not a race car. And I was wondering why it was so hard to take off, because I had the handbrake on. I have car transporter. Hey! Well, first thing on the jobs is gave the interior a bit of a clean. It's still actually quite filthy, and as I suspected, the seat covers are there for a reason. The seats are fucked. So thankfully we live in Japan's junkyard, so I should be able to find some new seats hopefully. I might pull all the dash and all the interior because it's all fucked anyway. See if I can either get something nicer for a reasonable price, or I might just paint it all. And then yeah, get a new floor mat, seats, seat covers, just overall give it a bit of a clean up on the inside. Try and get that a bit spruced up. But yeah, first real job is the warrant of fitness. It's legal inspections to be on the roads in New Zealand. So I'm hoping I can get one of those, and everything else can be a problem after that. But here it is. And you know what? It's even funnier. Mrs. just pulled up. I was expecting her to give me grief. She's like, oh, she knew I was getting it. She was like, well, it's not as ugly as I thought it was going to be. So, that's a win, boys. Picture it with a bit of a lining, some fake skirts down there, maybe a bit of a fucking chin spoiler, rewrapped, and I'll probably do gloss black, and then my livery on it. It's gonna look fucking sick. So on to the first jobs of ownership. There is no service history, so just doing an oil change. There is no coolant in it, so gonna do a coolant flush and then add some coolant. Got some new plugs as well, change those out. Found out the boss kit for my Supra fits. I won't run this wheel, I just wanted to see if the boss kit fits. But yeah, anyway, fucking hell. She's actually real easy to work on, eh? Grab the oil filter from while you're standing on the tray. Do the plugs while you're standing on the tray. Change the oil without jacking up the car. Trucks are easier than low cars. So this isn't really a truck, this is like a mini truck. Tiny little thing. Speaking of tiny little things, not where you think I'm gonna go. So the tray, I did get very excited when this popped up for two reasons. One, it was cheap. Two, it was a Toyota. Three, it was matte black. And four, it was 2 meters wide. So I knew the Supra would fit. So I'm gonna have to move the winch so that I can push the Supra as far forward as physically possible. If I do that, that'll get me, that much closer to the cab, which means it puts the rear wheels where they currently were going to be sitting, about there to there. So it'll all be on the flat, which would be pretty good. It's still going to have its ass overhanging way out here. So obviously there's a rule of thumb about a certain amount of weight past your rear axle. So basically I'm going to service thing, I'm going to get it all together, I'm going to get it registered, warranted and legal and tidied up somewhat. I don't want to, but if I put the Supra on and it's got too much weight past the rear wheel, might end up selling it. This was like the dream for me, to have a carrier. Like there's loads available, bigger ones for still not bad money. Like I paid $6,000 for this, and for 10 to 15 I can get a bigger diesel one, but they are COF, not WOF, so more expensive every 6 months to get it inspected. Diesel Ks and a whole pile of other expenses, and when they're too big as well, I might need to get a different license, because I just got a standard vehicle license. So this I can drive on a road license. This is warrant of fitness, so it's cheap. Petrol and diesel in New Zealand, like it used to be so much cheaper to drive diesel. Now I'm not really convinced. So I liked all those things about it, but if I can't carry the Supra, it's a bit of a deal breaker. Like it'd be ideal if I had like a Corolla or a Starlet or something like that. as like a rally car. Like, obviously they're not low, so it'd get up super easy and be on the cab and be perfectly fine and be mint, and it'd be way less than a ton on the back. Anyway, I'm probably upsetting myself before I get too far into it, but I'm just preparing myself for potential disappointment with this. So I jumped into it quite quickly because I just got excited. I saw it and I bought it within like 30 minutes when I had no plan on buying a vehicle that day. So it's been quite a momentous occasion, loading the Supra onto the Dyna for the first time. I probably should have recorded it, didn't. It was quite spur of the moment and I was quite excited, so yeah, it's on there. Supra on the back. See how she feels.
I've done a lot of sketchy things in cars. This might be near the top of the list.
Well, we haven't died yet.
We haven't found a corner yet.
This is alright.
I barely noticed it on the back.
Is that more neighbours?
More of your friends.
More of my mates. The looks I've already been getting.
I don't know about you, I don't even notice it on the back.
Actually, if you've driven the car before, it's calmed it down. Because she was fucking like so bouncy, I'd almost get air in it. We're good, we're cruising. Try and take some bumpy terrain.
You know what? We haven't fallen over yet.
High speed run.
She hasn't overheated yet.
No.
I hear something about these 3 wires blown head gaskets.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I can pick her, mate. Oh, Toyotas is super reliable. Oh yeah. What'd you buy?
I'm actually just joking about that.
Oh no, my mate was going on about last night. They're well known for heads going soft.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, if there's one guy that's going to do that.
7M, 2LT, 1KZ, and a 3Y. I think I've picked all the worst motors Toyota's made.
You ever thought about buying a good motor?
Oh, I've considered it.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Cruising, man. Cruising.
I wonder what it'll be like at 100k.
I could test at least 80 just up here. I'm a bit scared about doing corners at 80 though.
Yeah.
The next must be, one day I'm going to take it up to Port Hills unloaded, and then we'll try load it. But I'm not going to lie, it was raining last night, or the night before, and I tried drifting it. I think I might need the clutch start to slip.
Oh.
So I might need to do a clutch in it if I'm going to try and drive uphill to load it up.
Doesn't this smell? You smell petrol. Is that Dyna or Supra?
Oh, it could be Supra actually, because the fuel rail's not connected.
Yeah.
Well, whilst the Dyna did manage to physically fit the Supra, it's still not a complete win yet. It's still not totally safe. The Supra itself actually got a little bellied getting up over the ramps in the centre, and it only currently has half a motor and no exhaust. So that will only get worse when it's actually complete. There's a couple of things I could do to, like, change angle on the back and longer ramps and things like that to make it easier. But yeah, towed around my area. Camera cut off, but didn't die. Got it up to like 90k an hour with the car on the back, and it was all good. She's pretty comfortable just cruising. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll still carry on with just doing a tidy up of it for now. And got a few decisions to make. Ideally, if I really wanted to keep it, I'd probably put a wider rear axle and shift it further backwards and put a bigger motor in it, because then it would actually be useful for karting my car all across the country. It's all good for, I guess, I mean, definitely good for Rapuna, but I mean, so was an A-frame. And maybe Timaru should be right. But yeah, anything with hills, big question mark. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.